Versus Battle Wiki. For those who don't know, Versus Battle Wiki is a community-run website that acts as a database for the power scaling of pretty much every and any series. You've got everything from Dexter to Final Fantasy on there, with each character having a profile that goes over their stats like strength, speed, and the various hacks ability that each character has. Personally, the most helpful thing about this website is actually the calculations they have and their breakdown of the different power scaling tiers, defining the difference between something like planet and star level. I'll readily admit that I've used this wiki pretty much in every single video to at least define the tiers of the characters, and have sometimes used some of the calcs found on there to supplement my arguments. However, beyond the general definitions on the wiki, things get incredibly subjective with the website, as those previously mentioned character profiles are inherently opinionated and formed usually by the scaling takes of die-hard fans and then improved by a moderator. The main issue here is that these profiles are a constant war between sides who disagree over how strong they think a character is, with some profiles completely highballing and other massively lowballing characters. For example, the wiki currently has Naruto and Luffy at small planet level and Ichigo at galaxy level, which I think is really funny to say the least, but I'll let you form your own opinions. But this video isn't about the big three. Instead, it recently came to my attention how horrendous the Dragon Ball section on the Versus Battle wiki is, both from a power scaling and just a general understanding of canonicity and continuity within the franchise. So in this video, I'd like to go over my main issues with the current state of Versus Battle wiki's Dragon Ball scaling. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump right in. Now, in this video, I will be technically talking about statements and opinions made by real people, so please do not harass anyone who may appear in this video. I'm just here to criticize arguments in scaling, and I honestly have no idea who these people are. With that being said, let's jump right in. Firstly, let me start by actually being nice. They are currently pretty accurate with their scaling of Dragon Ball Super Goku, having both his anime and manga counterparts at low multiversal due to their clash with Beerus in Battle of Gods or the equivalent arc. The part that confuses me though is that they have him only capped at low multiversal, despite it being insanely easy to quantify that he's gotten 1,000 times stronger since Battle of Gods, meaning he should just be multiversal, but besides that, they're pretty spot on. The same thing goes for OG Dragon Ball, who, once again, they have pretty spot on at moon to small planet level based on feats, statements, and upscaling of weaker characters. Beyond this though, their choices and arguments are really confusing for the other versions of Goku. For example, they have Manga Z Goku at only solar system level by the Buu Saga, simply because they find it inconsistent that Buu Saga characters could be 1,000,000,000,000 times stronger than Cell Saga ones, despite numerous universal statements to the contrary in the manga supplementary material or even the manga itself. Now, I understand that it may be controversial to use like guides to supplement your argument, but wait till you see what they use for evidence for the other versions of Goku. Now, we reach the real issue with the wiki and the true reason I'm making this video, and it's the so-called Toei-verse section of the video. According to Versus Battle Wiki, every single Dragon Ball property ever made by Toei Animation is a single connected continuous continuity, which includes the DBZ anime, Dragon Ball GT, the movies, and all specials. Even aside from this, the way they scale the feats in Toeiverse are just completely misinterpreting or outright ignoring information that we've been given. So let's first look at how they scale the anime without any information of the movies. So according to the wiki, everyone in the anime version of the Buu Saga and beyond is already as strong as God Goku and Beerus are because of Bohan's Vice Shout. They argue that this feat was going to destroy the universe, and so it's exactly the same as the feat from Dragon Ball Super. But this is just objectively untrue. The first thing that needs to be understood is that the idea that all the realms in the Dragon Ball universe are one, quote, universe only came about in Dragon Ball Super when we learned that the whole thing is called Universe 7, aka a capital U universe. But in the Z era, the universe was only the mortal realm and the demon realm. Everything else was not considered to be the universe, but separate dimensions entirely. Looking to the description of the attack, we see that even specifically for Buhan's Vice Shout, that this attack was only covering the living world and had zero implications of impacting the otherworld or the Kai realm, something that may actually make it low multiversal. Furthermore, the feat itself is not just throwing a punch and making the universe explode. Buhan is opening up portals to other dimensions, and it's those dimensions that would destroy the universe, not the tears themselves. Dende even specifically says the problem is that the other dimensions rushing through the portals are going to destroy the universe. For a better analogy to understand what I mean, imagine Buhan was standing in front of a dam and punches a whole lot of holes in it, causing water to rush through those holes and cause a bunch of damage to a nearby town. Buhan himself would not scale to the damage caused by the water, he would just scale to the holes that he punched. It's just replace the holes with the dimensional tears and the water with the dimensions rushing through. So the feat isn't low multiversal, and either way, Buhan doesn't scale to the damage it will cause. Still, from this feat, according to them, Kid Buu might be able to beat Goku Black, and Gotenks is apparently multiversal just because he himself could make one of these holes. This is weird because the feat also happens in the manga, and Dragon Ball Kai, and every other version of the story. If just making these dimensional holes is literally all you need to become low multiversal, which is seemingly the argument here, then the manga should not still be at solar system level. If you're going to make wrong arguments, at least be consistent about your wrong arguments across all your arguments. That being said, the misinterpretation of a feat is one thing, the complete dismissal of canonicity or evidence is another. Like I said, the Versus Battle Wiki currently treats the DBZ anime and movies as one single continuity. Now, you could pretty easily just watch this all-time classic YouTube series that goes over how pretty much every movie contradicts the anime and can't be canon, but let's see what they say about this. Their ultimate argument is that due to there being a handful of movie-connected characters that make cameos in the anime, this means that every single movie must be canon to the anime, but this simply doesn't logically follow. Most of the justification is spent going over how all the movies are in the same connected timeline, which is fine and honestly not the main issue here, or the least of the issues here. The main issue comes from connecting these movies to the anime, something they readily admit comes with contradictions that they simply choose to ignore. Firstly, there's the fact that some movies are directly stated by guides to not be canon to the anime, like the Daizenshu entry for Super Android 13, which specifically says it must take place in a different dimension from the main continuity, mostly due to it completely contradicting what happens in the story. This is also supported by Toriyama's statement that the movies are a separate dimension, something that he doesn't say for the anime, as well as statements by Koyama that the movies are not only contradictory to the anime, but made without the anime being considered at all. Or more recent guides that say the movies aren't in the main story and show what could have happened rather than what did happen. This by itself pretty much instantly invalidates any arguments trying to connect the exact movies themselves, and allows for some pretty easy explanations for any crossover in any mediums, and removes all those contradictions. Why does Cooler appear for 1 second in GT? That's GT Cooler. Why does Garlic Jr. get his own arc in the anime? That's Anime Garlic Jr., and on and on. Just because two characters look the same and have the same name does not mean they share the exact same history or exist in the exact same canon. Imagine if you applied these arguments to, say, the character of Superman. You'd sound insane. I have no idea why they don't just divide between manga, anime, and movie versions of the characters, because suddenly all of these contradictions and problems would essentially go away instantly. Well, actually that's not true. I kinda understand why they're doing it. Obviously, by combining canons like this, you can say that Mecha Frieza is universal because he scales to Z Broly, or in other words, it makes the entire verse stronger. But at that point, just say they're composite versions of the character if you want to make them strong, instead of just twisting in knots to justify why they're connected to each other when they're so blatantly not. But why did I talk about this? Who ultimately cares? It's just a website, right? Well, Dragon Ball is my niche, and my general goal is to educate or at least entertain people while talking about its scaling. When you have such a widely visited and popular website like the Versus Battle Wiki, which gets over 1 million visitors a month, spreading what could almost be called misinformation and kind of just hand-waving away blatant contradictions to their arguments while using literally sticker books as evidence kind of poisons the well of healthy discourse in the power scaling community. Ultimately, it just bothers me, and I wanted to share my thoughts. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you to my members for supporting my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!